But you keep messing around with me and acting like you don't know shit, I'm gonna knock your ass out and I'm gonna go kill your mother.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Last week we got the release of Project Power on Netflix.
This is power.
Now the fact that this was a Netflix original should tell you everything you need to know. It's not a summer blockbuster, but it's not a complete dud either. It's a really good mid-range movie with a lot to like about it. It's got a solid plot with interesting characters, and it's all held together well enough to make it a decent way to kill an hour and a half of free time. The best way I could describe this movie is The Equalizer meets Taken with a bit of random superpowers thrown into the mix. All on their own are fun to watch, and all put together aren't quite the sum of their parts, but it's still pretty good. The superpower element really didn't add anything to the plot of the film, but it kind of did make it fun to watch. The bank robbery was a prime example. It was utterly ridiculous, especially with the power they decided to use, but it's probably exactly what someone with that power for only a few minutes just might try to do. But if you take away the powers, nothing really changes about the film, except now it's just darker and maybe more dramatic. The powers are really just there to keep it lighthearted, and I'm okay with that.
Am I lying?
Where this movie really shines are the casting choices that were made. The main trio of characters all play together really well, and were each believable in their own unique way. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was really good in his role as the cop. I think he's a really underrated actor simply as a result of the roles he chooses to take. His characters are often downplayed, if not downright normal. And in this movie, his character Frank is exactly that. He's just a regular cop who wants to do the right thing, and taking a pill doesn't change that for him. He uses his powers to help him do his job better when necessary. And in a movie with almost every other character using the pill with grander plans in mind, Frank only uses his powers to serve and protect. He's still the same guy with or without his superpowers. He really wasn't in the movie as much as I would have liked to have seen, and at times it felt like his character was put on the back burner, only kept around really for the sake of the plot. And this is especially true for his change of heart in the middle of the third act. It just wasn't believable at all, because this turn was just never set up in the movie, and even just a few minutes earlier, he was still refusing to believe the truth, yet suddenly he decides to flip because the plot needs him to. His character just didn't feel as thought out as it probably should have for me. And in a movie about a pill that gives you superpowers, to me, this was honestly the most unbelievable part. Dominique Fishback was excellent as Robin, a kid in way over her head. She's not good at school and knows it, but really just wants to provide for her family. She's a good kid at heart and just gets caught up in the fast money. I think Jamie's character says it best.
You out here in these streets dealing, you ain't no damn kid. You gave that up. You can't keep playing that whole I'm just a child card, okay?
And I think Dominique plays that dichotomy of the scared kid and young adult who wants to do right perfectly. Her performance isn't forced, and she stays grounded and true throughout the movie. She really is the breakout star of the film. And then there's Jamie, and there's really not much to say about him. Jamie Foxx is always great in whatever he's in, and he really carries this movie. Whether he's playing a caring father out for vengeance, or putting in his bid to become a next action star, he excels in all of his scenes. Whether it's serious dialogue or over-the-top action, he just nails it all.
I told you what was gonna happen, didn't I? Now you tell me. Am I lying?
The directing of the movie was about as good as it could get on this one, from dialogue to action sequences. It's especially noticeable in the second to last fight sequence. The fight starts with a clear perspective of the environment, then switches to viewing it from behind an obscured glass pane. It was an interesting choice, but I think I may have liked it more than just seeing the fight straight on. There were a number of rumors about why this scene was shot this way, the most plausible being budget constraints, but either way, it worked out great. Now I think the weakest point for this movie was the script. It was written by a fairly new writer whose portfolio mainly consists of shorts, and maybe that's why this film feels like a number of shorts thrown together, to fill out the time frame needed for a feature. It simply doesn't flow as well as it should. And everything else feels like it's trying to compensate for this, maybe even trying too hard to overcome what this movie really was. It's a small, mid-budget film that managed to attract big names, forcing it to punch above its weight class. I mean, it put together Academy and Emmy winners with rappers and YouTube stars. The film just couldn't decide if it wanted to be serious or not. Now don't get me wrong, these non-professional actors aren't bad, but they're really only just glorified cameos, effectively only in one scene and playing exactly the type of character you'd expect from them. They helped bring a buzz for the trailer, but didn't amount to anything in the actual movie. Now, was Project Power a terrible movie? No. Would it have succeeded in the summer box office? Probably not. But it was a decent film to watch on Netflix during quarantine, and that's really all it needed to be. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Project Power. Please let me know in the comments below. Have a great day, and don't forget to watch a great movie. Bye.
You need anything else?
No, I'm fine.
Yes, you are.